talked about a plan to keep talents in Bhutan. We understood that this plan, according to Gemini, I don't have enough knowledge. We just relied on Gemini, and we are practicing with the Gemini. So, according to the Gemini and what we understood, with these three functions, we can have a plan to keep talents in Bhutan. We need to boost the market in Bhutan, and we need to provide quality education for youth people, and we need to increase contribution of people in operating country. So if we boost a market, which means we have more projects, we have more needs, we identify needs and boost the needs. We have actually the needs, we know the needs, and then when we educate people, we have qualified person, we have qualified people to provide the needs. So we have a need, we have a qualified people to provide the needs, and with this function, increasing contribution of people in operating country, we try to make the environment a better place to live for that people. So they are living in that environment, they are working in that environment, and they can change the environment to what they want. So in this case, we can keep talents in Bhutan. And hello guys, I hope you are all doing very well. My name is Ali, and in this series of videos, we talk about, we speak about how we can use generative AI and design thinking methodologies together as an integrated approach. And we try to look at different topics and try to analyze different design methodologies when we are using with the generative AI. So today I'm gonna pick a specific topic. Let's focus. Let's do something. This is also new for me. I was just thinking about it. I'm not quite sure that whether it works or not, but let's just try. We want to just select a country by random. Okay, this country is Bhutan, known as the land of the thunder dragon. Bhutan is nestled in the eastern Himalayas and is famous for its stunning monasteries, dramatic landscape. Let's see, Bhutan. Oh, it's amazing. Really nice country. Fantastic. Okay, let's come back. Uh, so let's see how Bhutan is running right now. Bhutan is a democratic constitutional monarchy. Okay, democratic monarchy, which means it has both a king and a formal government structure with a prime minister. It's a relatively young democracy. The country transitioned from an absolute monarchy to this current system in 2008 at the direction of the previous king, who wanted the people to have a direct say in their governance. Head of state is a king, and head of government is a prime minister. This person, this is the king, and this is the head of the prime minister. Okay. The prime minister, he holds the executive power. The prime minister is the leader of the political party that wins the most seats in the National Assembly, the lower house of parliament. Okay. So I want to know. I want to know what is the main slogan of this prime minister. f- for the 2023-24 general election that brought him back to power, Prime Minister T. Shering and his People's Democratic Party used a central slogan that acted as a contract with the citizens. For a better Dragul, the promise we will deliver. Dragul is the local name of Bhutan. Okay, for the better Bhutan, the promise we will deliver, meaning land of the thunder dragon. Why this chant worked? This wasn't just a catchy phrase. It was designed to address specific anxieties in Bhutan at the time. Here is why it helped him win. The contract concept, the top guy titled his entire manifesto "A Contract with Bhutan." By calling it a contract rather than just a platform, he was telling voters that his promises were legally and morally binding, aiming to restore trust in the government. Focus on the economy. Bhutan was facing a post pandemic economic slump and a brain drain, young people moving abroad for work. His slogan focused on the promise of a better future to convince people to stay and rebuild. Experience vs. Newness. After being out of office for 5 years, his campaign leaned heavily on the idea that he had delivered before and would deliver again. Fun fact, while his official slogan was serious, T-Shirring Top Guy is also famous globally for his TED Talk, where his slogan or main message was that Bhutan is not just carbon neutral but carbon negative. He often uses his platform to remind the world that happiness is a place, which has become an unofficial chant for the country's tourism and global identity. Okay. So let's focus on this uh, part. Focus on the Bhutan was facing a post-pandemic economic slump and a brain drain. Young people moving abroad for work. Young people moving abroad for work in Bhutan. Please give us a plan to keep talents inside the country, in the country. Okay, let's see what Gemini says. And as you can see, I'm using the normal and like the free version of Gemini. Retaining talent is currently Bhutan's existential threat. As of 2025, approximately 9% of the population has emigrated. 9%, it's too much. With 70% of civil service resignation coming from the critical health and education. 70% of civil service resignations, coming from critical health and education sectors. The government and the king are currently implementing a massive multi-layered plan to pivot the country from a traditional mountain kingdom into a modern tech and mindfulness hub. The Stay in Bhutan Master Plan. First, mm, the Gulf Mindfulness City, the Big Bet. This is a brand new special administrative region being built on the southern border. It is designated to be a country within a country to attract the youth back. The goal: create a high-tech, sustainable city that offers Western-level salaries and career paths in finance, green energy, and digital assets. Talent retention. It allows young Bhutanese to work in a globalized Singapore-style environment without having to leave their culture or families behind. Let me see a Bhutan map near to China. Is it? Oh, it's near to Nepal. Okay. China, Bhutan is here. Nepal, India. It's completely near to China. 10x National Economic Vision, launched in early 2025, this plan aims to increase Bhutan's GDP tenfold by 2050. Diversification, moving away from just hydropower and tourism into agri-tech, biotech, and digital economy. The Pilsang Initiative, reforming the brain drain to Australia. The government is moving from stopping people to leveraging the diaspora. The skills transfer, new policies encourage Bhutans abroad to invest back home or return for short-term expert residencies to train the local workforce. Okay, so this is the like Gemini response. Pick a now let's pick one design methodology and use a design methodology when we are interacting with AI. Uh, there are many design methodologies to work with. We can use function behavior structure, FPS. FPS is developed by John Gero. He's one of the like he's really good at the design methodologies, and he's one of the most prestigious design methodology scientists. We can use that design methodology here. I'm gonna put one of his papers here regarding FPS. But I'm using one specific. I'm using the concept of FPS here right now. If I use that, not the perfect method, because if you're gonna use the comprehensive method, it takes hours. So we cannot do this in this short video. But we can use function behavior structure concept to deal with the topic. Okay, let's use the FPS function behavior structure in interacting with Gemini. Okay, so this is the problem. I want to develop a plan to keep talents inside Bhutan. I'm not quite sure how I should write Bhutan correctly. So okay, BH. What? Which functions? This plan should have, please. List all the functions. So let's first find out the functions that we need. Economic magnet function. The plan must create a high value economic zone that competes with international opportunities without requiring citizens to emigrate. The special administrative regions use the Gulf Mindfulness City. Okay, no. I'm just thinking about the function, not more. Economic magnet function. The plan must create a high value economic zone that competes with international opportunities. Economic magnet function. Education carrier bridge function. The plan must resolve the mismatch. Okay, so let's continue. Let's continue here. Okay, this is the problem. Let me open the one. Let's come back here. The economic magnet function. The plan must create a high-value economic zone that competes with international opportunities without requiring citizens to migrate. So, high-value economic zone. High-value economic zone is one of the function that we need here. So, okay, we say plan to keep talents in Bhutan. High value economic zone. So one of the functions that we need here is high value economic zone. So let me okay. Or we can just reverse the arrow direction here. Okay, nice. So a plan to keep the talents in Bhutan. One function of this plan should be high value economic zone. The other function that it mentions is education career bridge function. The plan must resolve the mismatch between Bhutan's education system and the global job market. The plan must resolve the mismatch between Bhutan's education system and global job market. What does it mean? The international agreement align the national curriculum with global standards. For example, the 2024 National Education Policy alignment with Cambridge standards. So local degrees are represented by international firms operating in Bhutan. Okay. But I think this is more about international experience, or I mean, not international education. Education carrier bridge function. So high quality education carrier. The plan must resolve the mismatch between Bhutan's education system and the global job market. The ESP loan model implement the education and skills program ESP, which provides conscious loan for higher education within Bhutan and India, especially targeting low-income household to prevent. Okay, we can say education, providing education for people, quality education, quality education for youth. So if you provide a quality education for people there, they don't need to migrate to other countries for education or something. But I think the most important reason is high value economic zone. So I mean, if we prepare like the if we have a good projects in a country, if we have a good market in a country, then people stay there. And to solve the challenges, to work on the projects, to get more market, they use actually education. So this is the first, I mean, the function. This is the most important function that we can provide. Pilsung's civic ownership function. Talent often leaves because they feel they have no say in their country's future. The plan must immigrate youth into the national operating systems. Guardians of prosperity, institutionals, decentralized governance. They use digital platforms to allow young citizens to participate in policy making, ensuring Pilsung civic ownership function. I didn't get that one. I didn't get that one. So talent often leaves because they feel they have no say in their country's future. The plan must integrate youth into the national operating system. I think if we provide the like good economy and also education, then we can say that we can actually have that one. But we can add something else related to that one. Increasing contribution of people in operating country. So this one could be another approach. Life cycle, lifestyle and gene advantage function. Bhutan out cannot outspend Australia or the US, so it must outlive them by offering a superior quality of life balance. Digital nomad infrastructure, develop mindfulness hubs with co-working spaces that cater the global trend of remote work, global Bhutanese sustainableness, and psychological health. So it's about the like the quality of life there. For sure, they cannot like compete with the US or Australia, but I think these three functions, if we provide these three functions, then we can. This is a free version. Then we can uh, expect people to stay in the country, and these three functions are very important. So if we make a plan for Bhutan that increase the like the we improve the economic situation and provide a good quality education for people. If we have like many projects, if we have a many market, we need the qualified people to do the projects. We need qualified people to produce a product, to make a product. So if we like make a need, we also need the qualified people to provide that need. So we need actually education. So we need a market, we need the boost in economy, we also need education, and we need increasing contribution of people in operating contribution of people in operating the country, in managing country. So these three, let's focus in these three functions. Let's come back to the Gemini. let's focus on high value on you mentioned high value economic, making a high value economic zone for Bhutan. What do you mean? What do you mean? How? What is the features? What are the features of this high value economic zone? The high value economic zone Bhutan is building is called the Gulf Mindfulness City. Okay. Oh, it's talking about a specific zone, a specific place. Radical economic. Okay. No, this is bias on Bhutan. Pivot the let's pivot the strategy. Let's unbias Gemini. How can we let's change it to boost economy. So the logic is we boost the economy. Then in the plan, a plan to keep talents in Bhutan. Let's recap. We need a plan to keep talents in Bhutan. So according to what Gemini told us, we have actually these three main function to be provided. If we boost economy in this country, we also have qualified people to take the roles, to do the projects, to produce like products. So we have a qualified people, we also have a market, then we can keep talents in Bhutan. We also have increased the contribution of people, the people's mind, the people decision in the country. So they can actually change the rules. I mean, the talents or the people can change the rules, can change the situation and environment to what they want and to what they wish. So they can stay in Bhutan because they have a good job and they are qualified for the job and they also like the environment that they live. So let's come back to Gemini. So we want to keep, the goal is keeping talents inside the Bhutan instead of migration. We want to develop a plan for this. This plan has three functions. First, we need to boost economy. More projects, more market, more needs. We need to provide high quality education for talents to take the roles and provide the needs in the market. We need to increase the contribution of people in operating the country so that they are encouraged to change the environment to what they wish, what they want. So with this, if the plan provide these three functions, having needs to be provided, having high having qualified people to provide the needs, and having a system that a dynamic system and having an environment and a desirable environment for living, we can keep talents inside the country. Okay, let's focus on the first function, boosting market. Yes, it boosting market is better. I think let's change it here to boosting market, boost market. Which features should this function have? What do we mean by boosting market in Bhutan? Okay, let's see Gemini response. To boost market in Bhutan for the purpose of the talent retention, you cannot simply do more of the same. Bhutan's traditional market was dominated by the government and hydropower, which didn't provide enough diverse role for ambitious youth. In your plan, boosting the market must mean transition from a resource-dependent economy to knowledge and innovation economy. Here are the four essential features this function should have. Market diversification beyond hydropower. Currently, Bhutan's economy is a monoculture of electricity and tourism. Boosting the market means creating new sectors so that a software engineer or a biotech researcher has a reason to stay. Feature targeted growth in agri-tech, fintech, and digital asset. In practice, by 2026, the government is shifting focus to midstream roles not just growing food, but processing, branding, and exporting high value organic Bhutanese products. High value, low value, the premium brand. Bhutan cannot compete with India or China. The two system economic sandbox. Okay, it's not, it's nonsense. So let's change our prompt. Uh, we want to. So okay, let's focus on the first function. We need to boost the market. What are the main potential in Bhutan to be able that we can boost them? What are the main potentials in Bhutan in to be activated? And no, okay, let me see. Okay, we want to follow the function behavior structure. So if we're gonna do that, we cannot ask this question. We need to boost the market in Bhutan. Which function? Which, please, list. Okay, I want to use function behavior. I'm a function behavior structure developed by Jero to make a plan. We have the functions here. Let's focus on boosting the market. Which features do we need for this function? Which behavior? I'll talk about it. I mean, just let me see whether it works or not. Okay. Using Django's function FS framework is a brilliant way to engineer a national strategy in Jero's ontology. If the function is what the system is for, boost the market, the behavior is how the system acts to achieve the function. It's the set of measurable attributes or process that emerge from the underlying structure. But no, this is not totally correct. So we define the function and we define the behavior that we need to provide the function, and then we have some expected behavior, and then after that we just find out the specific behavior of the tools or structures that we can provide, and then we compare together. But let's see what the response is. Function boosting the market goal create a high demand, high reward environment that out competes international migration alternatives. Here are the four critical behavior required for the function. First, value density acceleration. In the FPS framework, behavior describes what the object does exactly. For Bhutan's market, it must do more with less. Definition: the behavior of converting low yield primary resources like the raw hydropower or substances farming into high yield digital or processed product. Value density, okay, acceleration. Perfect, I got it. So instead of just focusing on the like generating electricity, they can invest on the like infrastructure or on the industries that needs too much electricity. So if they have too much electricity, they should focus on the industries that needs this electricity and just change the rules and just provide a situation that absorb that uh, that companies or that products there. So value density acceleration, the behavior of converting low yield primary resources like raw hydropower or substance farming into high yield digital or processed product. Why it keeps talents high value? Okay. So value density acceleration. How can we? I mean, not how. I mean, what is the feature? What is the behavior of boosting the market? What is the feature of the boost the market? Okay, but here, let me see. Copy. So when we say boost a market, when we say we boost a market, we need to focus on value density acceleration or increase the value density acceleration, increase the value that we are providing, not just selling the raw material, increase the value density acceleration. Oh, okay. Regularity velocity. This behavior describes how the market system responds to new ideas and global capital. Definition: the ability of the market to rapidly integrate foreign direct investments and support a startup experimentation without bureaucratic friction. So, the ability that market rapidly rapidly integration with the direct investment or rapidly absorbing the investment. So, okay, absorbing more investment. Global interconnectivity. Since Bhutan is landlocked, the market must behave as if borders don't exist. Definition: the attribute of being geographically agnostic, where the market functions through digital sovereignty, blockchain-based finance, and the remote service experts. Global interconnectivity. Digital bridge behavior. Since Bhutan is landlocked, the market must behave as if borders don't exist. So increasing connectivity with the other countries, something I understood. Increasing interconnectivity. It is allows professionals to live in this virtual environment. Okay, the attributes of being geographically agnostic, where the market functions through digital sovereignty, blockchain-based finance, global interconnectivity, digital bridge behavior. I didn't get that one. So I understood that the country has some specific. I understood that the country has some specific, like. I understood that the country has some specific potentials. So we can we need absorbing more investment. We need like value density acceleration. I didn't get this one. Global interconnectivity. Since Bhutan is landlocked, the market must behave as if borders don't exist. Definition: the attribute of being geographically agnostic, where the markets function through digital sovereignty, blockchain-based finance, and okay. Demand supply synchronization. This is the behavior of the market accurately signaling what skills are needed to the education. Demand supply synchronization. This is a behavior, okay, a feedback loop where market needs are instantly translated into project opportunities. So demand supply synchronization. This is another feature that I think we should have it here. So we have like three strategies or three behavior that we need to provide to boost the market. We need to increase the value density acceleration. We need to absorb more investment, and we need to synchronize or coordinate education and the market. Let's simplify it. Coordinating education and market. So, but synchronization, yes, if we're coordinating education and market, we have a high qualified like people, and then investors are encouraged to invest on that specific uh, specific like projects or a specific industry if we have many experts there. So we can say that one. So when we say boosting a market, when we say we want a plan to keep talents in Bhutan, so we want to boost a market. When we say we want to boost a market, we want increase the value density, we want to absorb more investment, and we want coordination between education and market. In this case, we can boost the market. So we can focus on each one of these like plan and a strategy that we have. We say value density acceleration. Okay. For boost the market, we have three features. Behavior. So these are the behaviors. We need we need to increase we need to increase value density acceleration. We need to absorb more investment. We need to coordinate education and market. Let's focus on okay. To be honest, I mean, we can do something. Uh, we can just go through the process, and this is the best way. I mean, find out the behavior of each behavior. I mean, find out this behavior, this behavior. We can look at this behavior or features, these three features, as a new functions, and then find out the behavior of the functions, and go through it, and then everything is clear at the end. Or we can just like, because of the like YouTube, and this is a YouTube video and we don't have too much time, we can just do a cheat. We can cheat, and then we can ask just some like strategy or solutions, like basic solutions for this to provide these behaviors. So for boost the market, we have three features. We need to increase value density acceleration. We need to absorb more investment. We need to coordinate education and market. Please give us some strategies, some solutions, some practical solutions, new solutions to provide to provide these new solutions or structures. We call it the structures in FPS to provide them. Okay. A structure for value density acceleration, the digital gold backed sovereign token TFR. As of 2026, Bhutan has operationalized a digital token backed by national gold reserve and hydropower mined Bitcoin. Structure a national blockchain that facilitates instant low fee cross border payments. A structure for value density acceleration. The goal is to produce more with less to justify higher local salaries. Vertical bioprocessing mandala, a structure for absorbing more investment. I didn't get it. A structure for value density acceleration. The goal is to produce more with less. No, it's not. You have to change the prompt. A structure for absorbing more investment. The goal is to create an environment where global capital feels safe and productive. A special administrative region, legal code. Bhutan is not just building a city, it's building a second. Okay. A structure for coordinating education and market. No, 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 no. We need to change the prompt. For boost the market, we have three features. We need to increase value density acceleration. We need to absorb more investment. We need to coordinate education and market. Look at the Bhutan features, Bhutan capabilities and potentials. We need to increase value density acceleration, which means prohibiting, which means reducing, selling raw material, raw products, or energy, and keep value making inside the country. We need to absorb more investment, this is clear, and we need to coordinate education and market so that investors, so that find the country uh, good place to invest, something like this. And then look at Bhutan capabilities and potential and give me some practical solutions for each to provide each behavior. Please follow FPS 0 and give me the solutions, the structures. Okay, let's see what happens. We need to change the prompt if it doesn't work again. So using the function behavior structure framework, we can map your goals to real world capabilities Bhutan is developing of April 2026 to stop the migration of talent. The structure must create a reality where staying in Bhutan offers a higher return on life. Oh, it doesn't work. Boosting in the market. Objective, create a high demand economy that requires the rewards high level talents locally. Behavior one, value density acceleration. Definition, moving from exporting raw energy or nature to exporting intelligence value. Okay, exporting raw energy nature to keep wealth inside the borders. Capabilities, Bhutan has surplus hydropower and is the world's first carbon negative country. Solution or structure, the green compute export zone, carbon neutral data centers, data centers, and AI training farms powered by this and this. How it works: instead of selling raw electricity to India at low rates, Bhutan exports processing power to global tech firms. Mhm. Behavior to investment. Okay, so it says about the energy. I think they are already focusing on the focusing on the developing some data centers or some like other facilities that needs electricity. So the idea here is focusing on what they are really good at. If they have many electricity, then instead of just exporting that product, we process that product and add a value to them and then export it. I mean, increase the value density acceleration. Investment absorption, creating a vessel that global. So one strategy or one solution here is the direction of arrow is like reverse, as you can see, because this is a solution. Developing data centers because they have too much electricity. So if we develop like that data centers or other companies that needs electricity, so we can we can boost market. Investment absorption, creating a vessel that global capital can flow into safely, deposit being a small landlocked nation. High political stability and the royal vision for this city, GMC. Creating a vessel that global capital can flow into safely. Okay. So promoting absorbing more investment. What one of the way to absorb more investment is promoting or advertising based on how safe the country is. There are we might have many solutions for each one. So for value, we can also try with the Gemini. I mean, we can just use this prompt. Use this prompt. I want to increase the value density acceleration. For instance, we have electricity in the country, and we can also generate some data centers to use the electricity to increase the value density acceleration. What else? So we've used we used like one example in the prompt, a few shot prompt, a few shot example prompts, and then we can get the response for this one as well. So this is one solution. This is just one. We need to absorb more investment. One way is promoting the safety. One way is just talking about how safe is Bhutan, and how safe Bhutan is, and then we can absorb more investments. Behavior 3, education market coordination, synchronizing the supply of human talent with the demand of investors so there is zero skill gap. Capability, recent 2020 transition to Cambridge International Standards and solution, the Pelsing Industry Integrated Curriculum. The structure a multi-pathway education system, co-managed by the Ministry of Education and private sector leaders. How it works, starting in 20. I think it's a nonsense. It's nonsense. So for this one, coordinating education and market, they can follow Canada. Canada is really well, not really well, but works. The system works well. So they have a specific system to provide funds for companies. If a company something, need a research, need a product, they can tell to the, like, they can talk with the university and say that, okay, I need actually this, and I can provide this amount of fund, and then the Canada government uh, increase this fund three times, and get the money to the university, and then university can hire many educators, hire many scholars, and educate them and train them to resolve the industry's problem. So this is a really good strategy. We need to like change our prompts to find out it's possible, for sure it's possible. We need just some prompt engineering. We need to change our prompt and find out. So but the idea, so for the rest, you can also use the same logic. So in this video, we talked about a plan to keep talents in Bhutan. We understood that this plan, according to Gemini, I don't have enough knowledge. We just relied on Gemini, and we are practicing with the Gemini. So according to the Gemini and what we understood, with these three functions, we can have a plan to keep talents in Bhutan. We need to boost the market in Bhutan, and we need to provide quality education for youth people, and we need to increase contribution of people in operating country. So if we boost a market, which means we have more projects, we have more needs, we identify needs and boost the needs. We have actually the needs, we know the needs, and then when we educate people, we have qualified person, we have qualified people to provide the needs. So we have a need, we have a qualified people to provide the needs, and with this function, increasing contribution of people in operating country, we try to make the environment a better place to live for that people. So they are living in that environment, they are working in that environment, and they can change the environment to what they want. So in this case, we can keep talents in Bhutan and increase the value. For instance, Bhutan has too much electricity. Instead of exporting the raw electricity, they can work on developing data centers. With the data centers, they can increase the value density. Absorbing more investment. This is another strategy that we need to boost market. So to absorb more investment, one of the features that they can focus is on safety. Bhutan is a very safe country, and investors are looking for a safe region to invest, and they can just advertise under safety, and in this case they can boost market for coordinating education and market. Gemini didn't just we need to like change our prompts to this one, but I'm quite sure that there are many strategies for this. So it's I always want to like keep the videos very short, but unfortunately every time that I want to try this is not successful. So let's stop here, and if you are like the if you are curious to how to do this, you can follow the same logic that we used in the like video and just provide the new solutions and new strategies for the to provide these features. So we use function behavior structure to interact with Gemini in this video. There are many design methodologies. You can just see the other videos or the following videos, and we use different design methodologies to work with generative AI in this series of videos. Thank you and bye.